today.
Well, there have been criticisms of the police handling of historic abuser cases before, but none quite like this. In lurid detail, Harvey Proctor, a former Conservative MP, laid out the allegations made against him and the way the police have dealt with them. He did it at an extraordinary press conference. Now, if true, the allegations are certainly sensational, linking as they do Mr Proctor, Ted Heath, Leon Britton, not to mention the heads of the security services who've since died. You could listen and think that either the very worst fears of establishment abuse and cover-up are well-founded, or that we are in the midst of an insane witch hunt. We'll hear from Mr Proctor in a few minutes, but first, here's Jake Morris.
In a hotel yards from Scotland Yard, a furious attack on the police and others from a man facing claims he raped and murdered children.
I have come with the intention of showing my face in public as an innocent man. I have come to raise my voice as an aggrieved subject now deeply concerned about the administration of justice.
His is a face that has been rarely seen and a voice that has been hardly heard in public since 1987. That's when Harvey Proctor resigned as a Conservative MP after admitting to charges of indecency with male prostitutes in their late teens. But last year, this man, identified only as Nick, spoke to the BBC, another news organisation, and the police. Today we heard he claims he witnessed Harvey Proctor strangle one boy, witness the death of another, and carry out abuse during group sex sessions that also involved other prominent figures between 1978 and 1984. In March, it was revealed police had searched Harvey Proctor's home. Yesterday, officers spoke to him for a second time, but he has not been arrested. Today, he criticised police for back in December describing Nick's claims as credible and true, and he took the extraordinary step of detailing them publicly.
In an attempt to stop the drip, drip, drip of allegations by the police into the media, I now wish to share with you in detail the uncorroborated and untrue allegations that have been made against me by Nick. Anyone of a delicate or nervous disposition should leave the room now.
The claims are horrific. Harvey Proctor accuses Scotland Yard of a homosexual witch hunt, egged on by some Labour MPs, parts of the media and internet fantasists. He says he should now either be charged so he can fight the claims in court, or else his accuser should lose his anonymity and face prosecution.
Jake Morris there. Well, earlier I spoke to Harvey Proctor and I began by asking him whether he believed it was right for the police to investigate the very serious allegations against him.
They have to be investigated, and they've got to be investigated expeditiously. The police have been dragging their feet on this interview.
And what evidence have you for that?
Well, my home was raided in March. That's 4 months at least after the allegations were made by Nick initially to the Metropolitan Police.
Can we be sure that they haven't actually been working in that period and doing something maybe useful, part of the investigation?
The conversations I've had with the police in the 2 interviews I've had don't lead me to that gloss conclusion, I'm afraid. I think they've been doing very little because they have very little. They have the words of a person who appears on television with a blacked out face and an actor's voice dubbing his words. That is uncorroborated by anyone else.
But is there any connection in the behaviour that you had at that time that might have drawn the police to draw a connection? For example, were there parties at that time? Establishment parties, let's call them.
I was a loner as a Member of Parliament. I didn't go to parties. I certainly didn't go to sex parties. So no, the age of consent has been reduced from 21 to 18 to 16. The offences that I committed inadvertently in 1986 and 87 are no longer offences.
But you're clear that Cyril Smith, Jimmy Savile, that there are cases that have come to light.
I accept that there are genuine victims of child sexual abuse, and I made it quite clear in my statement that I fully supported and had sympathy with them. But I also have sympathy for those people dead and alive, who are the subject of injustice and wrong allegations. Not just any old allegation, but grievous allegations of murder, torture, child abuse, rape.
Now,
quite wrong.
One particular strategy would be to let the investigation be complete. And if no charges made, or charges are made and you're acquitted, to then come out and complain about the process. But is there a danger by doing this before the investigation is complete, that in a way you potentially deter genuine victims of crime who see the way that you're traducing the man who's made the allegations against you? It deters them from coming out and making the allegations either against you or other people if they so choose.
The police for months have been going on television and radio and in the newspapers at the drop of a hat to appeal for victims to corroborate what Nick has been saying. They are beside themselves because no one has come forward.
And you know that no one else has come forward.
The police would have told me if, yesterday they would have told me when I was interviewed, if there was anyone else to corroborate what Nick has said.
Have you a theory as to why your name came up?
I guess the fact that I'm a homosexual, and a homosexual with indecency charges which I accepted in 1987 but are no longer offences now, might have had something to do with it in the police psyche when they were looking at Nick's allegations. But he throws the kitchen sink into his allegations in terms of the other people that he mentions, and new names seem to come out at the drop of a hat. The new name that was dropped into the arena yesterday was, have I ever met Jimmy Savile? Well, no, I haven't.
I mean, we have a situation, don't we, where the public don't know whether you're guilty. You know whether you're guilty. Nick has his opinion about whether you're guilty.
That I'm not
guilty.
You know
you're not guilty, yeah. But you can't deny that it's right that there is an investigation, and an investigation will take some time.
And I said that in my statement.
Yeah. No, I know, you've made it quite clear.
The police have a duty in law to expedite these matters. I do not believe that they have been expediting these matters. I think that they have prejudiced their own inquiry by the superintendent in charge of the Operation Midland going on television and saying that this witness is credible and true without interviewing anybody else. And the lack of intelligence of senior police officers that they can think that Ted Heath and I together would do anything in concert, even having a cup of tea together.
This is because you were a political enemy of Ted Heath in the 1980s.
And he was an enemy of mine.
And no charge has been levelled against you. Let's make that quite clear. You've not been arrested. You've not even on bail. I mean, you've just been questioned in relation to these.
And the police do not say to the press, the media, or to the public, but say to my solicitors and myself that I'm not a suspect.
If the matter is dropped, do you think the public will think Harvey Proctor completely innocent or not?
I think, and I said in my statement, that charges should be brought against someone who's made these allegations against me, which are the foulest allegations that could be made against another human being.
And do you think that of all victims whose charges are not followed up?
I'm talking about this matter.
Right.
And I do not know why I am being followed, pushed to despair in this way. It is very cruel.
If the matter is dropped, will you take action against, I'm thinking of anything, legal action, other action, any action against those who've been involved in the case, the reporting, the investigation, any aspect of this case?
I will have to talk to my solicitors against that, and all my options will be open.
Harvey Proctor, thanks.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.